There we go.
Got it.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Melissa Andre. I'm the Executive Director of the Philadelphia Tax Review Board, and today we are convening a session of the Philadelphia Tax Review. Our category today is License and Inspection. Today is March 13th, and again, it is approximately 2:06 p.m. Please be aware that this is a public hearing and it is being recorded. Because the meeting is public, participants and viewers have no expectation of privacy. And by continuing to be in this meeting, you are consenting to being recorded. This recording will be posted on the Tax Review Board's website. With me today is our board chair. With me today is our board chair, Paula Weiss, as well as board members John O'Connor and Nancy Cameradiner. Paula, take it away.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Tax Review Board hearings for March 13th, 2025 are now in session. Before we turn to the matters that are going to be heard before us today, we do have some administrative information to read into the record, and we're going to start with case number 6. Last 4 digits of the docket are PHJ 3, 1307 North 25th Street. This matter has been withdrawn from our docket. We're going to move to case number 5, last 4 digits of the docket, 9690, 1432 Diamond Street. I don't know if there's anyone here from the petitioner, but this matter was continued from a prior hearing, and I think we wanted to get an update as to whether or not the parties had been able to come to some agreement. Mr. Cohen?
I believe with respect to Diamond Street, that matter was withdrawn by agreement on February 27th. But let me check my email just to be safe.
Okay.
Yes, there should be an email first from Michael Rulo on February 27th at 10:25 a.m. Saying that the parties have executed a settlement agreement. And as part of that agreement, the petitioner agreed to withdraw. And then petitioner's counsel, Mark Goodhart, replied at 11:08 a.m., confirmed. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Cohen. So we will have this matter marked as withdrawn. Thank you. We're going to move on to what is listed on our docket as cases 1 and 7, 5119 North 10th Street. Last 4 digits of the docket for case number 1 are L25F. Case number 79246, and I believe the petitioner is in the hearing room at our offices. Ms. Lovelace, can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. My name is Paula Weiss, Chair of the Board. Could you state your full name for the record, please?
Kathleen Lovelace.
Ms. Lovelace, do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, we're going to actually start case number 7 because there are some administrative matters with this case, and I'm going to turn it to Ms. Andre, our Executive Director, to provide that information.
That is correct. So case number 7, docket ending in ZZ 9246, has been previously adjudicated under docket ending in ZZ 9244. Unfortunately, this was an error in our processing. The bills were duplicated in the system. Unfortunately, our old case management system had required us to abbreviate the bills. And then for some odd reason, this bill was processed twice. So this case has already been adjudicated. The decision was rendered on October 4th of 2022. It was denied, and the bill number it was denied under was 321369543. The full bill number has the prefix of 5818 and then 321369543. So unfortunately, this case is listed in administrative error.
So we're not going to address that matter today. However, we will start with what is listed on our docket as case number 1 for this property, 5119 North 10th Street again. Ms. Lovelace, I'm going to turn to the city representatives first so that we can have the periods and dollar amounts and controversy read into the record, and then we're going to turn to you and you can explain to us why you're here and what you're looking for from our board. Okay?
And just for the sake of the record, exhibits C10 through C13 in the city's exhibits packet for today are those duplicates, the 2 ARC system printouts for both ZZ9244 and ZZ9246, and the previous petition and notice of decision, just for the sake of the record.
Thank you. All right, so Mr. Cohen, who is your witness for today?
Well, we'll be bringing out Lashika Mitchell, if she is here, to read in the amounts, and then it will be Thomas Robakowski, CSU supervisor, for the merits.
Okay, well, they are both here in our Zoom room. I can see them, but we'll start with Ms. Mitchell. Good afternoon, Ms. Mitchell. Can you state your full name and position with the city, please?
Sure. Lashika Mitchell, Code Administrator for License and Inspection.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Could you please read the amounts and controversy into the record?
Sure. 5119 North 10th Street, docket number ending in L25F. This is a CSU lateral bill, bill date 12/13/2023, bill number 2021-01-2430, principal amount $995, admin charge $208.95, interest $48.16, for a total of $1,252.11.
Thank you. Mr. Cohen, do you have any opening comments?
Yes, this actually, even going back to the 2022 matter of the demolition bill itself, this sealing the lateral bill was attendant to a court-ordered demolition. The city's records that I have provided in the city's exhibits packet show both a court order from August of 2019 ordering the remediation of these unsafe conditions at this property, and then a final order from December of 2019 that said if these conditions aren't remediated by a certain due date, then the city would be authorized to demolish. And in part of that court order, to bill the defendants, including Ms. Lovelace, for the costs of demolition, including sealing the lateral, et cetera, and a 21% administrative fee.
Can you
So that's
share
what we'll be presenting today. And yes, I can share that on my screen.
so we can see, so Ms. Lovelace can see that as well?
Can everyone see the exhibits packet that's on screen?
Not yet. Ah, yes, there it is.
There. All right, I'm going to jump to page 9 in the packet. And again, all of the highlighting in this packet is not in the original. It has been added for emphasis. So you can see up there, paragraph 11, by the correction date, which is actually on the previous page, March 6th of 2020. The defendants, including Ms. Lovelace, shall obtain a make-safe permit and begin make-safe work. And page 9, paragraph 14, if the violations are uncorrected after May 6th, the correction date, then the city and its contractors are immediately authorized to demolish. And then on the following page, 14D, defendants are responsible for all costs associated with demolition, abatement, other necessary work, including but not limited to sealing the lateral and a 21% administrative fee.
Can we see the caption? So that we can see
Yes.
Lovelace's name is.
Oh,
attached?
sorry. I went way too far.
Okay.
Sorry, that's Kathleen
Kathleen.
Lovelace's signature on the previous order. Kathleen Lovelace et al. Defendants, defendants Kathleen Lovelace and her relatives. And just for the sake of the record, down here is Ms. Lovelace's signature, along with the court's and my own signature on this final order by agreement.
Thank you. Anything else?
Well, I
mean, you don't need
I
to
can
put
bring
case in chief on.
Lashika Mitchell now. Sorry?
I mean, you don't need to put your case in chief on at the moment. We'll turn to Ms. Lovelace. We just wanted to get the
Okay.
preliminaries.
I just wanted to make sure we got the numbers into the record.
We
correct?
did. Yes.
Okay, perfect.
got 'em.
Thank you.
All right. So Ms. Lovelace, Mr. Cohen, the attorney for the city, has provided us with information regarding this bill for sealing the lateral, showing that this was pursuant to a Court of Common Pleas order, an agreement that you were part of. Do you recall that?
Somewhat.
Do you
Yes,
recall?
somewhat. I do recall some of that, but not all of it.
Okay, well, what would you like to tell us? Because if there's a Court of Common Pleas order for this work, our board has very limited, if any, jurisdiction in the matter. So what would you like to tell us about what you're looking for today?
Basically, I did what they asked me to do. I had someone get a safe, look into the house and get a paper. And When we went to deliver that paper to the city, they didn't accept it, and we were still within the time frame. So,
When was that?
Actually, I think I need to object at this point on the grounds of res judicata. After the May 6th deadline, as Ellen and I was preparing to do the demolition, Ms. Lovelace's, I think, son, Sala Lovelace, filed an emergency motion to stop the demolition. There was a hearing, and after that, the Court of Common Pleas issued an order denying that motion, allowing the city demolition to proceed. If you'll permit me again, I'll put that order up on
Yes, please.
screen. Sorry, that's the motion. One moment. Can everyone see the order that's currently on screen?
Yes.
Okay, so
2019.
this is the city's
Term.
proposed evidence for applying res judicata, that we cannot relitigate here that the demolition was authorized. And I'll stop sharing my screen whenever.
That's fine,
everyone's
thank
ready.
you.
Okay.
All right, so Ms. Lovelace, we're back to the beginning, which is that if this was pursuant to a Court of Common Pleas order, this board cannot in any way overturn or modify something from the Court of Common Pleas. And Mr. Cohen has certainly shown us that you were part of that proceeding directly, or perhaps through your son at the end, I'm not sure. Is there anything you wanted to add about that?
they would not, we went to L&I before that hearing, and they would not accept our paperwork.
But that's, I mean, I understand that part, but in the end, it was a final Court of Common Pleas order, which you or your son at the end participated in. And
But
that,
we understood that all we had to do was get this paper together and then get the work done, but they wouldn't accept our paper.
okay. Mr. Cohen, is there anything else you want to put on the record regarding jurisdiction?
Well, I do need to.
There.
I do need to put on the testimony of Supervisor Rebekowski. Specifically, this is a sealing the lateral bill, so I need to have him testify to, well, what was done and how it's linked to this court order.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Rebekowski. How you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Just fine. Could you please state your full name and position with the city?
Thomas Rybakowski, City of Philadelphia, License and Inspections, Construction Compliance Supervisor assigned to CSU or Emergency Response.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Cohen?
Good afternoon, Supervisor Rebekowski. Have you had an opportunity to review the records for, and potentially prior to the demolition, go to the property at 5119 North 10th Street?
I did review the case record. I don't recall visiting the property specifically, but I do know that there was a Court of Common Pleas case.
It was Victor Collins, wasn't it? The inspector who went there? Okay.
Yes, Inspector Collins was the court appointed, or the court liaison inspector for this property.
Then that's my faulty memory. I apologize. The court order that I had on screen previously, the work that was done under that, what exactly did that demolition entail?
The property was demolished per the court order. One of the requirements for a demolition is that the abandoned sewer lateral or the drain line coming from the property connecting to the main sewer for the city is disconnected and sealed by a licensed plumber.
And who did, or what licensed plumber did that connecting or disconnecting and sealing of that lateral for this property?
At that time, we would have had two plumbers on record. That would have either been Best Choice or Mr. D's. I don't recall exactly which company, but those were the two at that time.
Well, actually, let me share on my screen the city's exhibits packet, and I'll try and keep this brief. I'll jump directly to page 38. What is this document that's on screen?
This is an invoice received to the department from Mr. D's Plumbing, one of those plumbers at that time. And it is for the property at 5119 North 10th Street for the sealing of the lateral and backfilling and tamping as per the requirement for demolition.
And was this specific sealing of the lateral for the demolition at 5119 North 10th Street?
It was,
But that demolition happened back in 2020, is that correct?
Correct.
Did Mr. D's Plumbing give any reason for why they didn't send this invoice until November of 2023?
actually, there is a long ordeal for why the plumbing aspect of the demolitions is so far behind the city demolition program. But this work could be 2 years or more behind on demolitions.
And was this, I think I asked this already, but was this specific work for the 2020 demolition?
It was.
Okay. And was this invoice paid after it was received by L&I?
It was sent to our fiscal department, who is in charge of sending payment to the contractors that supply invoices to the department.
And just for the sake of the record, what's the amount due for this invoice at the bottom?
$995.
And does that match the, on this next page in the packet, page 39, does that match the labor, materials, and equipment cost that's on this invoice?
It does, but it also reflects the administrative charge of $208.95, bringing the total to $1,203.95.
And if the board wants to take out their calculators, $208.95 should be 21% of $995.
We'll trust you on that.
And with that, I will stop sharing my screen, unless Ms. Lovelace would like to see the exhibits for the purpose of cross-examination.
Ms. Lovelace, do you have any questions for Mr. Ribikowski or any questions about what Mr. Cohen has been showing us?
I really didn't understand it.
Okay, so what we were looking at were the bills from the plumber who performed, the sealing of the lateral on the property, which is part of a demolition process to close up and make safe when a property is demolished. And that is the bill that's in front of us today.
I never received that bill.
Well, if I can, well,
Go
I'll
ahead.
tell you what, I'll address that in redirect, but let's put a pin in that for a second. Sorry.
All right, Mr. Cohen, did you have other questions for Mr. Ribikowski?
Yes, one moment. Just going to jump back to page 39. Sorry, not 29. Thank you. Supervisor, what's the address to which this invoice was sent?
The address the invoice was sent is 1022 West Colony Avenue, Philadelphia, PA 19141.
Just pointing out for the record that the address that is on the petition in this matter is the same address, 1022 West Olney Ave. And actually, the copy bearing 1022 West Olney Ave of this bill is attached to that petition. So clearly it was received. And I'll stop sharing my screen.
So Ms. Lovelace, what Mr. Cohen just sent us is that the bill was sent to the address you have provided, 1022 West Olney Avenue. Is that a correct address for you?
That's my address.
Okay, well, that is where the bill was sent. When was it sent again, Mr. Cohen? You don't have to show us, share your screen.
December 13th of 2023.
Okay. And actually on your petition, that is the date of the bill. So you may not recall exactly if there were multiple bills, but we do see it with the petition. So anything else, Mr. Cohen?
Nothing further from the city, but thank you to Supervisor Ribikowski.
Thank you, Mr. Ribikowski. All right, Ms. Lovelace, is there anything else you wanted to present to the board?
Yes, the last time I was here, I was told that the water was shut off at that address. I have been paying that water bill for years there, and it has not been water on in that.
Okay, well, we're not here to address a water bill today. We don't have anyone here with that information.
I bought all the bills.
I understand, but we're not.
I walked out my door today to come here. It's a bill with the address 5119.
Okay, and I understand
These
that,
bills,
what you're saying,
and I
but that
keep
is not,
paying these bills. And what am I paying for?
that would be a separate proceeding. We're here today for the bill that is for the sealing of the lateral that was in conjunction with the demolition of the property. If you would like to have a review of the water bills, that would be a separate proceeding, and not today. So, all right, so the board is going to step back and have a brief conversation. So everybody sit tight.
1 second.
Mhm.
Mm.
Okay, I think we have everyone.
Yes, Nancy's back.
Okay. Second. Okay. All right, the tax review board is back in session. We did step back to look at the documents. Mr. Quinn, you want to move them into the record? I can't hear you.
I apologize. Yes, please, the city would move its exhibits packet into the record.
So moved. So the board did actually review the documents. We did discuss the testimony and information provided, and it is our decision that this petition will be denied for lack of jurisdiction, that a court of common pleas order approving and giving the city permission to go ahead with demolition, ancillary necessary operations and billing for those takes it out of our purview. So Ms. Lovelace, this petition is denied. You will get a letter from the tax review board within 30 days. Either party has the right to appeal to the Court of Common Pleas within 30 days of that letter. That information will be in the decision letter. Other than that, I think I need confirmation and concurrence from board members.
John O'Connor, I concur.
Nancy Cameron, I concur.
Paula Weiss, I concur, and that concludes this matter before the board. So thank you for coming in, Ms. Lovelace. But there didn't seem to be anything that we could really do here. So thank you for coming in, and we're going to move on. We have cases 2, 3, and 4 on our docket for 740 South 18th Street. Case number 2, last 4 digits of the docket XXOQ. Case number 3, last 4 digits of the docket ZOB1. Case number 4, last 4 digits of the docket LK, guess it's an IN. For 740 South 18th LLC, and I believe there's an attorney on our Zoom representing this petitioner as well as the petitioner as well. Mr. Vanderslice, can you state your full name for the record?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Richard Vanderslice for 740 South 18th LLC. Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board, and Ms. Andre.
Good afternoon, and Mr. Cohen,
Good afternoon.
representing the city again in this matter?
Yes, and actually this matter, similar to the previous one, there is a court order, not by agreement in this one, a court order for demolition and the costs of demolition. The added twist
If I
in
may
this
just interrupt,
case
I think I
is
can
that
circumvent a few things here. My understanding is that the demolition matter has been resolved by agreement when this property closed.
and I would object to that. We had this discussion
sure.
over email, but
If I could just,
All right, well, I'm not sure what that means. First of
So-
all, resolved by
well-
agreement between who?
well, if I can
before I
continue.
was interrupted, I was.
All right,
trying
wait a
to
minute.
explain-
We can only speak one person at a time. So what I'd like to do first is have Mr. Cohen put the numbers on the record for us so we know what we're dealing with. And then we can go back to Mr. Vanderslice and he can provide us with his opening statement, and Mr. Cohen has an opportunity to open as well, and then we'll see where we are.
Well,
Counsel.
even as a preliminary matter, the bills in this matter were issued to Harold Ellis Beal pursuant to that court order. So 740 South 18th LLC didn't actually purchase the property until 2 years after the bills were issued. And as of August of last year, it sold its interest in the property. So there's a lack of standing as a preliminary issue here.
Okay, so, well, Mr. Vanderslice, let's talk about standing, I guess, as a preliminary matter. Does your client own the property?
No, not currently. He is contesting the amounts that were due at the time that he owned the property. This appeal was filed at the time that the property was owned by 740 South 18th. In regards to the 3 docket numbers, my understanding is 2 of the docket numbers relate to the demolition bill, which it's our position and understanding that an agreement was made with the title company at the time of
And the
closing.
city objects
All right,
again.
well, Thank you, Mr.
Sir, I allowed you to
Note your
fin-
objection, but I'm going to let Mr. Vanderslice
Okay.
finish so we can get an understanding of where we are.
There was an email exchange with the title company in which a settlement offer was made of $50,000 to resolve the demolition agency receivable.
And the city objects to that
The-
characterization.
Okay.
So noted.
There was a check issued to the city with the lien number on the check, which was negotiated shortly after the settlement. I would suggest that that moots the appeal for the demolition charges. The sole issue remaining, it is our position, is the appeal on 1 Zebra Oscar Bravo 1, which our understanding was the commercial trash fees that were charged to this property. At the time that 740 South 18th LLC owned the property, it was zoned RSA 5, and we're here on it. The other 2 were a demo, so there was no structure to be collecting commercial trash. So really, our only issue here today is whether or not the commercial trash fees that were assessed against the property were proper, in that A, it was zoned RSA 5, and there was not a commercial operation on the premises, and B, for at least 5 years that they've been assessed, there was no structure to collect refuse from.
So let's stop and see where, okay. So are you saying, before the board goes any further, that you are withdrawing your petitions for what are listed for us cases number 2 and 4?
Just to confirm, those are the demolition lien and
Yes.
the barrier lien.
Well, you just read into the record what we have listed as case number 3, Z0B1, as the only open cases that you are here to talk about. So the other,
I just,
so
before,
XX0Q and LKIN would be withdrawn.
before I would withdraw anything, I just want to make sure it's the right cases, because
Okay, I don't know that, go ahead, Ms. Andre, where are we? Is there a refuse? Is one of these for refuse?
No,
No.
all three of these matters are license and inspection agency receivable cases. I just went in to go see if there's a SCE, and there is not a petition in our system for the SCE. The only petition that we have are these three license and inspection issues.
So one is for demolition. Let me just look and see where I am here. That's attached to the petitions. One is for clean and seal a vacant building.
Correct?
Stop me if I'm wrong, Miss, and that's all I have actually is two. There a third?
If,
What's
if I
the
could,
third?
if I could interject to explain which of the bills is what. Case ending LKIN is for the demolition of the imminently dangerous structure. That's what
Okay.
that bill is. Case ending XXOQ, it says site improvement, but as I'll have Supervisor Rebekowski testify, it's actually for the placement of barriers and the transportation of those barriers to the property to encircle the property while the demolition was occurring.
Okay,
And then case ZOB1 was actually for the removal of those barriers. I believe it's listed, or it says its description is a clean and seal, but the bill itself says about the removal of 23 barriers and 23 fences.
okay, so we do not have a refuse collection fee petition in front of us, Mr. Vanderslice. We don't have a bill attached to the petition or anything that would point us in that direction. And that wouldn't be Mr. Cohen bailiwick in any
Correct.
event. So now, which doesn't mean you can't file a petition and have a hearing on a refuse collection fee, but that we don't have any of that paperwork in front of us today.
No, that's not correct.
Can I just have a moment to speak with my client?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not correct.
If you
Hold
could
on.
mute yourself,
You can mute
Mr.
yourself and
Casile.
speak to your attorney.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That doesn't make sense to me. Thing in the system, right? No refuse, nothing. Yeah, I didn't think so. Only, and if that's the case, this isn't the case for it. This is the only.
Melissa, we can hear you.
Oh, sorry.
Can we be put into a breakout room? I can't get a hold of him on the phone.
Melissa, we can't hear you.
Never mind.
Hold tight, hold tight. I can put you guys in a breakout room if you would like.
All right, so the board is going to take a 5-minute reset.
Thank you.
Mr. Vanderslice, can you hear me?
He's on mute.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm gonna put you and him into one, thank you, one, good catch, one room, okay?
Thank you.
Oh, not me.
No, not you.
I just got invited.
No muss.
Yeah, just got invited.
No, don't, yeah, you
No,
guys.
I'm not. I just, no.
Oh. I really wish he would like put his camera on.
Since we're off the record.
And Miss Andre,
Do you need my board back? My whole board? back?
I just had an administrative question.
Sure.
When I received Mr. Cohen's materials, I saw the reference to the barriers and the site improvement.
Mm-hmm,
Because of that, we called the TRB office,
mm-hmm.
find out.
Today?
No, it was yesterday.
Okay.
We spoke with a gentleman. I don't recall his name. Maybe Mr. Kissel does.
Mm-hmm.
He indicated that there was on the list today a tax or the appeal for the refuse, commercial refuse.
Today is not a commercial refuse day, sir. It's literally all.
I understand that, and that's
Mhm.
part of my concern, and that's why I called. And I was just wondering while we're on recess, if you could confirm that there's a refuse appeal filed and what that date is.
My manager, my tax review, she's my case manager. She just went and go and checked, and she said she did not see any refuse petition filed in the tax review board system. I mean, I could go again.
Okay,
if you-
well, we approve. I received letter back that it was for
Can you-
refuse.
Sure. Can you, all you have to do is send that over to me, and I mean, if it was a
But we've
refuse.
been waiting over a year for this, and it just seems like we were supposed to do it before. It got postponed. Another 6 months. 6 months went by. We got postponed again,
At
and
this moment, sir, I'm not gonna go back and forth with you. Just send me the email showing. that
and
you
wait
have-
another 6 months.
No, I
Why
can.
they keep holding my money?
Sir, we're not gonna do this. If you can just show me the petition, I can schedule this for you as soon as I possibly can.
Okay, I
Need to be
appreciate
rude,
that.
Can you just send me
Thank
the
you.
petition so I can confirm that we have it
Absolutely.
and it's somehow not in my system?
Okay. But as far as the barriers and everything, we never filed a petition for that. There is no petition that says my name on it with.
Okay, it may have been included because it was all part of the demo lien. I mean, that could have been an administrative.
The petition specifically reads 112 demo lien with 3 attached bills, and all of those bills indicate these different bills. So that's how we processed it. The petition I have dated 3/15 of 2024 makes no indication of refuse. So if you send me the refuse petition that you processed, I can move that up because again, I'm not trying
Thank
to
you.
waste anybody's time.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so can we go back on the record and see where we are then? Mr. Cohen, Mr. Vanderslice? Yes. All right, tax review board is now back in session. And Mr. Vanderslice, I'm going to turn to you as to these 3, the current matters on our docket and where we stand in terms of how you want to proceed.
Well, with the caveat that none of these are related to commercial refuse is our understanding.
Yes.
And I would ask that Mr. Kissel confirm this as the managing member of 740 South 18th, that the appeals for the demolition liens would be withdrawn.
Mr. Kissel, could you state your full name for the record? We didn't get you on the record yet.
Joseph Kissel.
But sorry, before there's any withdrawal, I just want to make sure
Hold
to.
on. Mr.
Yeah,
Kissel,
Jeff, you can hold on because it ain't your time to talk.
Mr. Kissel,
Hey, Joe.
everybody needs to stay calm. We're trying our best to sort this out. And Mr. If you're going to yell at us, we're not going to go forward.
Well, he looks like he's yelling, so I'm gonna.
I understand. That's why
Sorry.
we're not going to go forward.
We've been respectful and I don't appreciate this.
All right. Well, Mr. Vanderslice, we can't do this if he's going to be yelling at us.
I understand.
Mr. Vanderslice, if you can
That-
please send me the petition, I will schedule it as soon as possible. That's not a problem. If it was sent and we didn't process it or whatever the case, we can fix it. But to lose
just-
control like this is unnecessary.
I understand, and I know the source of the frustration was being interrupted by Mr. Cohen. I would just note that for the record.
And we do understand the frustration. We know that sometimes these things take too long and they get convoluted and they are confusing, but we are trying our best to sort it out.
And
So-
Thank you. And
excuse
just
me,
for-
no disrespect
Cohen,
for
stop.
the tax
Sorry.
review board administration. I apologize to you guys, but unfortunately, Mr. Cohen said some things off the record from here that weren't too polite. And when he keeps interrupting my attorney and interrupting me, he's still going about badgering people. So I
Okay,
just
so
wanted to put him in his place because he's nobody.
Mr. Casile, your attorney has asked you to confirm for us that you're withdrawing the three matters that are on our docket today. I'd like to
Yes.
swear you in that the testimony you're about to give in this matter on that question will be the truth in front of our board. Do you swear or affirm this will be the truth?
Yes.
Yes. Now, Mr. Vanderslice, you want to ask him the question and we can get it on the record?
Yeah, I was just with the stipulation that our understanding is that the appeals on the docket today that were read into the record previously are not addressing the commercial refuse fees that were charged to the premises. The 740 South 18th LLC would withdraw the appeals that are related to the commercial demolition fees.
And I think with Ms. Andre's affirmation as well, that yes, we can affirm that that is the case, that these are not related to the refuse collection billings that may be attached to this property.
Thank you. And with that,
Thank you, administration, and I apologize for my outbursts, but unfortunately, sometimes people say, things that you don't hear that I did hear, and so that's the reason for my outburst, because people like him that want to rob people in Philadelphia.
But Mr.
Okay,
Casile,
Joe.
we're not going to
Mr.
go there.
Casile.
We're not, we really understand your frustration, but name calling doesn't help anybody. So
Anyway,
you.
again, Mr. Vanderslice, if you can get me that petition
Yes.
as soon as possible, I will process it and I will personally schedule it as soon as possible. Okay?
I appreciate that, Ms. Andre, and thank you, Madam
thank you.
Chair.
Before
and
you
members of
go,
the board.
Mr. Vanderslice, I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry, but I just want to make sure if you have any closing comments, now is the time, and then Mr. Cohen can make any closing comments he wants to make.
I do not have any closing comments.
Okay, Mr. Cohen.
I just want to make sure for the petitioner's sake, for the sake of the record, that everyone here understands that what is being withdrawn is a dispute against the bills at issue, and that municipal liens are not under the jurisdiction of the board. I just want that to be very clear to all parties.
We will affirm that as
Thank
well.
you.
Yes. Okay, so I think that concludes the matters that were listed today. We will get the refuse collection matters on our docket as quickly as possible, based on the paperwork that Ms. Andre will be receiving from I guess for Mr. Vanderslice at this point. So this matter is concluded for today, and I believe that concludes our docket for today as well.
I did have
So-
one further request.
Yes.
That concludes our business if we could be excused.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Vanderslice. We will see you at another time.
Thank you, everyone.
All right.
All right,
Thank
thank
you,
you, everyone.
everyone.
Tax review board hearings are concluded for today. Everybody have a good afternoon.
You
Good
also.
afternoon, everyone.
Take care.
Bye now.